Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Look at the minutes from the last meeting.
You had to speak up.
We can't hear
Yeah,
nothing,
nothing. We didn't even hear you approve that first thing.
what you were talking about.
Any questions on the minutes from last meeting? Motion on the floor. Have a support? Motion support. Any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We could approve the bills at this time. Oh, yeah, okay, I'm sorry. That was the special business meeting, yeah. Entertain a motion to accept the minutes from the special business meeting, May 1st, 2024. Got support? Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next on the agenda. At this time, we have an opportunity for public comment. Oh, no, what did I do now? I skipped the bills. See, I want to do the bills first. And then you told me not to. I'm not doing very good today. Okay, so there we go. On the back side there. Yes. I entertain a motion that we pay the bills. Have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Now we do public comment on the items on the agenda. Any comments on anything you'd like to add or subtract to information on the agenda that we have before you? Yes.
Just a question, being as that the hall's starting to be rented or whatever, is there any place that will be listed? We had problems before with rental things and not showing, and it rented them last month, I believe. And there's never been, other than saying that the hall's been rented, is there a spot on the agenda or on the bills or anything that can say intake, money that we got in for how much we got for the hall, for the rental or whatever? I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. It's in my head, but I don't know if that's coming out
So
right.
you're talking about the income we have from the rental.
Right,
Where does it show on the,
yeah,
Because they pay for it ahead of time, it's on the bills. So if it's in here, it won't actually show, because these are bills we're paying out. So, and I mean.
but we don't,
I think it would be fair
fairly easy, though, for me to list income
Income.
from rental on
Yeah.
the treasurer's report.
Yeah.
I don't feel like that would be, I take the cash from you and put it in the bank, so I can probably add that
Yep.
to the treasurer's report, fairly easy.
Thank you.
So if I added rental income, I won't, it won't have an ending balance because I don't want it to affect our value. But I can do it. It wouldn't be hard.
Thank you. It was
You'll
just,
have to
there were problems.
adjust it for the deposits taken back out once, because it's gonna show larger than what the actual rental is. Yeah, because there's deposits in there. Yeah. So I won't add deposits, I'll only add rental fee.
I just thought it would be good for everybody to know.
No, that would be difficult for me to add.
Thank you.
Any more comments on the agenda? Okay, we'll move on. Supervisors report. So, I guess we'll start with the roads. We have 2 roads that have been paved. I don't know if you've seen them, East Street in Trufa and McBride around the lake on the south side of Cowden Lake. They did a very nice job, they're pretty beautiful. Very proud of that, we're happy to have done that. Our civil infraction properties, we have 5 properties that are in the civil infraction blight system. I've been in contact regularly with 2 of them. And I don't think I'm gonna say much more about that, because I kind of think that's a little bit private for those people. They're working on it, okay? I've chosen 5 people for the Parks and Recreation. Melissa Stout will be on the committee. She has already put a lot of effort into the parks, thank her for that. Chris Inman is in charge of the softball tournaments over there, so I thought that would be a good person to be on the Parks and Rec Committee. Steve Kane is already highly involved in the park here in Trufa.
Coral.
Yeah, Coral, I'm sorry. Make sure you write Coral in there. Megan Booth just graduated with a degree in, what was it called? It's community advancement or something. So she's going to be a great addition to that committee. And Julie Graham is already our cemetery coordinator, and I think we want to kind of have those 2 things related in the future, maybe under the same role. So those are going to be the 5 people. We have had a Parks and Rec in the past, and I want to look at the how they operate and pass that on to them.
I think those are excellent picks, not to interrupt, but.
I think they all bring a different, excellent dynamic to the. It took me a while to come up with these people. I don't even know them all very well. But so successful cleanup day. I thought that was. I just love doing that kind of stuff. People came in. I talked to everybody. I met a lot of people. They dumped their garbage, cleaned up their yards. I think that's a great community thing to do. We have a memorial service coming up on Memorial Day at the Coral Cemetery, not the Coral Park, at the Coral Cemetery. And the program there is going to be like we did last year. Perhaps you've seen the advertisement on Facebook for it and on the township website. In regards to that, I would like to get $200 from the board to pay for that, the refreshments and the speaker and stuff. I don't know if I want to make a motion now at that time for that or not, but last year I covered the expense by myself, so.
I think we should, because years back when I was in charge of it, I went to Meyer and they donated ice cream sandwiches for the whole band.
Oh, did they?
So, I don't When you're there tomorrow, can you make it?
That was Myers before, huh?
Yep. So,
Okay.
I think we should donate, yeah, we should put the bill for that, yeah.
Okay.
Whatever Mike think, right?
And I thought that we could take it out of the Bob Johnson Fund, which was already set aside for the cemetery. Yep. Good?
Yeah, 'cause they donate a lot of stuff, so yeah, I think it's 3 years they donated, and I don't know how many
Oh,
they
yeah.
get. They, just went and wrote them off and brought them back and handed them off, but all we had to do was say, Sam's Ice Cream donated to Banner Springs, donated from our Cedar Springs.
Okay.
That's all we had to do, get their name mentioned, and, oh yeah, I don't know if they do anymore, we got new people over there, so. Unless we can do it, we can start counting it.
Yeah. It's a good thing to do. The memorial service is a good thing to do.
So you want us to vote on that motion?
Yeah, you wanna make a motion then?
Yeah, I'll make a motion, spend $200 from the Motor Lake Service.
Okay.
Second motion?
We have a second? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. I would like to have veterans there with their hats on if we could, but I don't know how to arrange that because I don't know very many veterans. And that is all I have for the treasurer's report. It's going to be a great Memorial Day celebration, Memorial Day remembrance. It was great last year. People had a good turnout. So.
I don't know if you'd be interested in contacting the vets home down in Grand Rapids, but they have vets' names and ways to contact them. They could probably tell you what vets are up in this area, and they may be willing to send out a,
How,
huh?
yeah, the VFW in Howard City used to send guys over every year.
Right, and there's a
Don't have that
VF,
anymore.
but the VFW in Howard City, those members moved to Lakeview,
Oh, did they?
yes.
So there's a VFW in it. Like,
There is a
Right on Main
yeah, but
Street.
they're probably having, they have a service in Lakeview too. Well,
Yes, they do.
we can contact them. Well, we tried last year, didn't we?
It conflicts with ours. They
Yeah.
have one at Cato Township at 9 AM, and then they do a parade through town in Lakeview, and it usually ends at 11 AM. And they have a celebration downtown. But we can always
That's a
contact
good
them and
thought.
ask them if they have any members that would like to come over and participate in ours.
That'd help, I'd be happy to make like a graphic or something that we could share on Facebook and just say, military members,
Oh.
join us, something like that. If you want, just throwing it out there.
Well, think about that, yeah. Okay, treasurer's report.
Okay. So in the general fund checking account, we had a beginning balance of $273,453.63. We had $198,811.27 in debits with $11,993.81 in credits. So we had an ending balance of $86,636.17. I realize that sounds like an awfully low ending balance in our general fund checking account, but it's by design. We have all of our money in accounts that are drawing interest, and we move it over only as we need it. The ARPA fund had a beginning balance of $19,606.27. It drew 80 cents in interest, so it had an ending balance of $19,617.07. We have a cemetery trust CD at Community First. It had a beginning balance of $706.36. It gained 91 cents in interest, so it had an ending balance of $706.30. That's wrong. I didn't add my 91 cents for my ending balance. I apologize. We have a general fund CD at Community First. It had a beginning balance of $34,409.52. It gained $91.40 in interest with an ending balance of $34,500.92. We had a general fund CD at Community First with a beginning balance of $202,928.76. It gained $671.54 in interest with an ending balance of $203,600.30. We have a general fund CD at Community First with a beginning balance of $200,611.32.
It gained $611.32 in interest, with an ending balance of $201,222.64. We have our general fund savings account at Community First, which had a beginning and an ending balance of $10. At Mercantile Bank, we have a general fund money market account, had a beginning balance of $203,064.55. It had credits of $151,560.54, with an ending balance of $354,625.90. That particular account grew $1,560.54. We have a savings account at Independent Bank, had a beginning and ending balance of $9,762.16. We have a cemetery trust CD at Independent Bank that had a beginning and ending balance of $4,373.89. We have a cemetery trust CD at Independent Bank with a beginning and ending balance of $4,564.36. They are drawing interest, but I only get statements on them quarterly, so I don't have that information. Mercantile Bank, we have the tax checking account. It had a beginning balance of $63,519.54. We had $60,775.51 in debits, with $5.28 in credits, for an ending balance of $2,749.34. We have the tax money market account at Mercantile Bank. It had a beginning balance of $467.70, credits of $2.21, with an ending balance of $469.91. We have a general fund CD at Mercantile Bank with a beginning balance of $109,746.15. It drew $552.18 in interest, with an ending balance of $110,298.33, for a total value of $1,033,136, or $1,033,136.54. So interest earned for the month was $3,540.90. We are going to make a small change. Currently, our fire fund and roads are sitting in our general fund when it comes to the actual physical account. And we are separating those funds out in separate accounts. So the fire fund will have its own checks that go to that, and the roads will have its own checks to go to that. A couple of different reasons. With a lot of the money now tied up in CDs, we want to make sure that the balance in funds never show negative, and in order to do that, it's easier if we break them out. So we are going to actually separate those accounts.
So you're gonna adopt two new accounts?
Yes, open, they're actually already open, they sent the information to Andy and I today to sign. So sorry, I didn't see that. I didn't check. Dan said he was emailing to us today from outside bank, so, that we'll get that done quickly. Any questions?
No questions? I entertain a motion that we accept the treasurer's report. Any more questions, discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, likewise? Thank you for a good report. Thanks for the interest. First report, Andy.
Anyone wanting to run for the elected township board positions, there's still two options. You can run as a declared write-in candidate or as a no affiliation candidate, as the deadline is passed for the August primaries. Absent voter applications will be mailed out sometime in May. We're currently waiting for the August and November elections. Right now I'm waiting for the county to finish setting up the elections so that we can access those applications and print them out. If any one of you, 5 here, 4 on the board here, have anything you'd like to go in the newsletter, the deadline to submit the content is going to be June 5th. To have anything in there Amanda and I just got the email from KCI with different dates of deadlines. And they have to have everything 10 to 14 days ahead of time to get us approvals and prints. My election workers, there's gonna be some more training. We're currently waiting for more information from the county of when that will be and what times. The state has said they're gonna be doing some as well, but they haven't released any of that information. And I've also received information, the Veterans Park, we need a few of us to go over there and do some major trimming, because there's trees growing up out of those bushes, and it looks very unsightly, so I'd like to see if a couple of you guys could come over with some chainsaws and help trim that up and get it cleaned up. And
Thank you.
we did that, at Coral Cemetery, and we're doing it at Truthin, but we need to do it at the park because it's pretty unkept. And Heckman is mowing, but you can't get underneath some of the bushes because they're just so overgrown. So either we can have Heckman do it and pay him, or a few of us can go out there and volunteer and do it. So,
I got a pole saw,
perfect,
I can come out.
bring it on over.
We
So,
want to set a time and a day for that?
we can, I mean, this
Because
weekend,
if we don't, it probably won't get done.
It'd have to be this weekend.
This weekend?
yeah, so Saturday or Sunday.
Saturday or Sunday? Which one?
Saturday,
Saturday?
please.
Saturday?
I'll come.
Okay.
If you do Saturday.
Okay.
Noon?
Noon?
Perfect.
Okay, high noon.
Noon on Saturday.
Showdown at high noon.
If, you guys need some help with that, I can come over too, and I also, don't mind throwing the brush back in my woods either. So if
Thank
we-
you,
if
Ken.
we
Yes.
accumulate some things, it'd save people hauling it away or whatever.
I mean, with several of us there, it
Yep.
won't take long.
So put that in the thing, maybe people will show up too. You're all welcome to come, by the way, Saturday at noon.
Bring some gloves. And that's what I have.
That's your entire report.
That's my report.
How's the building coming over there? I haven't been inside there.
Walked through, I've seen workers over there, they have, electrical's been going over there, they have the mini split, it looked like, set up. And that's pretty much what I know. I saw
Cool.
them over there, so.
It's coming together then?
It's coming along.
They're working on it. Good. Thank you very much. Planning Commission, report, Lee?
Oh, we had our public hearing on short-term rental. We went over it, redone it. We got one we're ready to turn to the board for their approval to make it an ordinance, short-term rental, make the ordinance official.
Okay.
And I've already got that, Gordon sent that over.
Okay.
With the changes, and that is to the attorney right now.
Okay, we had a lot of input from the public and discussed quite a few things, and we got rules, but we didn't go over them. So, we all think it's a pretty good deal. And then, we started on the mobile home ordinance, and, did we set a date for the public hearing on that?
No.
Okay. Anyway, we started on, mobile home rental, going to ordinance on that, rules and so forth.
Thank you. Anything else?
Nope, we got covered, right?
Just, I have a question on the PC.
What's that?
When it goes to the attorney, how do we ask the attorney questions?
Email them,
Yeah.
Email them where? To you? Okay,
or to Dan.
well, all right, we need that information. We didn't know any of that prior to the last meeting when we were asked if we contacted the attorney, and none of us knew how we were supposed to contact the attorney.
We
You
keep
could
it-
also contact us during our business hours and not wait till come to a meeting and ask us.
Or if we even allowed to contact them.
Right, that's what we want.
No.
None of us knew any of that.
Dan is the official contact,
So, yeah,
so he has me usually type it up because I'm by the computer, he's CC'd on everything.
so we
Or
try
he
to,
sends
to
us.
keep we try it, they charge by the hour.
Right,
By the minute.
I know
And so
that.
we try
That's,
to-
that's
we
why
try
I
to
wondered
regulate
how
who
it
has
went.
access to her. Yeah,
And,
so
and I agree with that. I just didn't,
either.
we needed clarification on that.
Andy or I can be contacted for that, and we will forward it to her. That's the best way to go.
mean, Attorney Head does some more on that short-term rental. We took that, what people told us, we came up with a whole new one that we think is pretty good now, but another way to put it.
I think that's the one that you sent to last week.
That's what Gordon sent to me.
Yep. If it's the same one that Gordon sent. Okay, cool.
Mhm.
Very good.
Pro that, I guess.
Okay. Zoning administrator, Dave, what you got?
Okay, it was a slow month, there wasn't any permits issued in the month of April.
Don't say nothing
There I noticed,
That's
there
what-
somebody is building
that
a
has
garage
nothing to do
without a
with
permit.
the
It's
short-term
the
rental.
last road
Oh,
over
all right.
here in town, I don't know what the road name is, right offhand.
It says that's not
Pretty
for the
good
short-term
sized
rental.
pole barn.
Standard quoted
Without a permit?
for a
No,
public
they didn't
office
get
or
any
employee.
kind of permit, they're just building it.
Got to
The
do with
walls,
April 15th.
the framework on the walls and the roof is up, it's a good size, I'm surprised they tried to.
Did they, get a permit from the county?
No,
Did they get a building permit or anything?
no, so, I'm working on that.
Did you stop in there then?
There's no house there. I noticed, I was driving by there a little while ago, and there is a camper back there. I don't know if it's just parked, there's other things there too, but there's no dwelling on that lot.
Okay.
So, I'll have to
We'll
look
talk
on the
after.
website and see
Hmm?
who owns it.
Oh, yeah,
I
yeah.
could probably get on who owns it if you come on front with me after meeting, it's on that.
Okay, yeah, that or I have a website with the county, I can, find out the owner.
What?
She said, you still have to get a permit even if
It's
it's
a
A.
zoning,
I
it's a
said,
zoning
well, that's-
permit to make sure you're in the right zone.
I realized,
Yeah.
that was.
It's not a building permit.
That was sarcasm.
That's
Anything
all.
else?
That's it.
That's it?
Yep.
Thank you, Dave. Community center report. You got
We had
something?
2 rentals, last month in April, but, in June, we have, each Saturday is rented, the last weekend in June is rented for a wedding, so it's Friday, Saturday, Sunday they've paid for. And we have 3 rentals in July already, single days, and then we have 1 rental in August so far for a baby shower. And we had more people calling and asking for dates, and the dates have, people have been checking the website and looking, because with, you know, for the availability, because we have it on there whether or not it can be rented or not, so. And
Getting busy.
getting busy. And, oh, as the fire suppression,
That's about 5 years for it right there.
yeah, I know.
Yeah,
Right now.
yep.
The fire suppression system is installed, we're waiting, Amber Electric has to come to put in whatever they need to do for their shut off, for the 120 thing that they had to do, and then, Summer Fire will be back to finish that after that is done. So, but everything is piped in and installed.
Thank you very much. Fire board?
Fire board, tender truck bodies and paint, still working on them. Concrete pads are poured behind the fire station too for the brush trucks and the doors they added. That's the only thing new that we've actually done with the assets. A couple of runs last month here in Maple Valley, a disregard and a possible illegal burn. That's it. Yeah.
For the fire, would you please poke them again for me to get that audit? I need a copy of their last audit, we're supposed to have them filed, I still have to see it.
They didn't get it to you. Okay. No problem. I'll definitely do that.
Thank you.
Cemetery coordinator, Julie?
Not a lot, other than we are, going to be putting flags out on Friday. We changed the date. We wanted to get it done sooner, so if anybody still wants to volunteer, let me know. We're gonna meet at 10 o'clock at the office here, so we can corral everybody and figure out who wants to go to what cemetery. And I'll give out some quick instructions, because there is a proper way to put the flags out. And Randy has said that the cemeteries will look tip-top, like they did last year for Memorial Weekend. And then we are also gonna put those big beautiful flags out at the entrance, like we had last year that were donated from another township. And we've had a few burials, and really that's about it. I know Andy's gonna cover some things, exciting news, a little bit later.
Do you mean May 30th? No, 31st?
For what?
The flag. May 17th. May 17th,
Yeah,
oh, so
Friday.
this Friday.
Yeah, 'cause
Okay.
the 30th would be past Memorial Weekend.
Yes, you're right.
Yeah, so this
And you
Friday.
would want to put it out the 24th, okay, so it's this.
So this Friday,
This Friday.
This Friday.
okay.
Okay.
Saturday, we're doing the memorial at Trufa cleanup, right?
10.
Okay. Busy weekend,
Meet
ladies and
here.
gentlemen.
At the building. She
Lots
said.
of opportunities to volunteer your time. What time Friday? So I can say it through the mic? 10 o'clock on Friday.
10 o'clock.
Okay. We put flags up.
At this building.
At this
At this building, meet here.
10 o'clock.
Okay. Would that be a paid position?
No, it would volunteer.
Volunteer should
But
be
if we had,
volunteer.
yeah,
Yeah.
if we had a
Yeah.
member of the community that could be the volunteer coordinator.
Yeah, we could get names, that would be people that would be willing to volunteer. It'd be interesting.
I have a couple things for the cemeteries.
Okay.
Pleasant Valley Excavating has gone out and they reviewed their quote, and that we approved in November of 2023. He said it will be a little more expensive. It was $6,700. It will be $7,500 now. He's hoping to get it done before Memorial Day, but it's been subject to weather. He's been working on other projects, trying to get them finished up, but the weather has not been cooperating. He said he's hoping he'll be able to start it before then, but there was no guarantee that he could. So I said if you could, that would be great, because that's our highest traffic weekend, to get it finished and done. There will be porta-johns delivered at each cemetery this week. Just waiting to hear back from Richard when they will. The water is on in both cemeteries, well, water is on in Coral at the Sexton Shed, and there's water available at the Sexton Shed in Trufen. There's a tote there that has that. And we spoke with Randy Heckman, because since we have the survey done of Trufen, we have 2 sections now that we can, he said he would, for $650, he would do rototilling of it and leveling it and seed it back so we can have it nice and mowed and flat so that we can start selling those spaces once we get it mapped out. But,
Sorry about that.
Wake you up.
there's no such thing as anymore. So,
Sorry about that. That was pretty funny though. No problem.
so that's what he said. Does anybody have any objection of having Heckman do that for $650?
I think that's a good deal.
Or
What do you think?
he's gonna straighten it all up, and, because he
And
walked
seed
out
it.
there to see where, there's a section to the west and then a section to the south.
How
There's
much land is it?
obviously, I have no idea. It's quite a bit. There's just not in the sway hole.
800 feet on the west and 800 feet on the south,
Okay.
where.
And there's just kind of a little section where it sways down, but he's not gonna do any of that, because it's the hole there. He can't do anything with that, so.
Probably gonna just wait till land sits.
Until we figure out what we wanna
They
do.
buried a lot of trash and stuff in there.
Mhm. So,
You gonna make that guy move his driveway?
oh, the farmer
On the west side?
that made it, that's his driveway that he did that there?
That's our, if you were,
Yeah, I was saying,
No, that driveway is on cemetery property.
yeah, it is. Oh, well,
So you're either gonna lose lots there over time, or gonna have to put a new driveway.
we may have to go talk to him then.
That's a driveway?
Yeah, for that field. That's not for us.
Field entrance.
Yeah, on the very northwest corner,
It's a big field.
it goes in
Yeah.
that field.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can
Cut
move
that
that.
out of the
So I
driveway.
have to move it.
So,
Yes,
You put a culvert and everything in?
No,
no.
Oh, okay.
it's just, it's the last, it's the last level spot to that
Oh,
field,
okay.
where there's a ditch and a bank coming in there, so that's where you cut in there, you can't do anything with it.
Oh, okay.
So he's there to use for driveway.
We'll just have to let him kindly know that it's gonna be up soon.
Cemetery.
Cemetery.
See, he rents it to the big dairy farm,
Okay.
Tim. So Tim needs to go out and tell him, hey, move your driveway.
So, that's what we have for cemetery.
So are we in favor of paying that for rototilling and seeding?
It's a fairly large chunk, isn't it?
Oh, quite a chunk.
Yeah, it is.
I'd say that's a fair price.
I
Okay.
mean, it's
I
not,
don't know the area, so I can't, I don't know
Oh, it's
that area.
quite a
is
big
cemetery,
area.
So I just
Behind the
trust your
section
judgment.
shed and all along that field edge, and
Is that an acre, half an acre?
when you get up in there and you look over the edge, that's when you're like, whoa.
It's only,
Yeah.
I think since the cemetery bought it, they've only mowed it now once.
Okay.
yeah, and there's some pretty big, he's gonna pull, there's some shrubs and stuff that like just grown, and they just need to be pulled out.
On and on and
Yeah.
all kinds of junk.
Yeah.
Yep, because when they, it was 3 or 4 or 5 years after they got it, so they didn't even mow it off, and it's been done since.
Okay.
He's gonna do all that for $650.
Yeah, that's what he said, and we walked out there and looked at it, so,
With him.
with him, yes, so it wasn't,
He's gonna be sorry.
well, I would say, I
Yeah,
questioned
there
it,
you
but
got
I
a new
was,
rototiller he wants to play with.
well, yeah, it could be as well, so,
First man is one back on the scratch.
yeah.
It's quite a mess up.
So I entertain a motion that we have a fund that we can take that from?
It would be out of our cemetery.
Be right out of
We
there?
have a repair and maintenance. It's
Okay,
already-
so we don't even have to make a, vote.
We can, no.
Take a cemetery fund to pay.
Yeah, but this would be in addition to what he has already,
Yeah.
what he's already quoted, and we already
Yeah.
have put for this, so this would be kind of that.
So we need a motion?
Yep.
Take a motion for spending $650 towards, what's his name?
Randy.
Randy Hudson, to rototill and
Work up the new
seed that up, yep.
Mhm.
You made the motion, I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second.
Okay.
Any more questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion carried. Anything else on the cemetery?
Nope, that's it.
Those that are
Right
marked,
now.
is that what they're gonna take out?
The what?
All those with the ribbons, that was gonna be taken out?
That we'll talk about, under unfinished business. That's a different person.
Tree moving. Okay. Did you have a report on anything that was in some,
Yeah. I talked to Braxton, the gentleman that's gonna be moving the playground equipment and doing the excavating at Peterson Park. And he let us know that weather is putting him behind. He's hoping to make it over by the end of this week to maybe start getting a few of the pieces out of Sand Lake, because he knows that there's a time limit on how long everything can stay at the schools. So he is still doing that, and Miss Dig has already been out to both locations and gave him a report. So he knows where everything is there, so that's where we're at there.
so this is the second week of May, so it's not too late in the year yet. We're gonna do right.
I wanted to add to the parks update, we did finally get a, tax ID number assigned to the parcel known in Peterson Park as unknown 116, which is the parcel, it was from the Peterson family. So that was one step that we were waiting for, is for the assessor to get a tax ID number assigned to that, and the county to recognize it. So that has happened, so we're just one little step closer. We are still working it.
Thank you.
That's exciting.
Real quick, could we get a trash can over there, over at the park? There's not a trash can there at all. People are just throwing trash. I think they would kinda keep up if there was a trash can. I know that brings a whole nother issue, but right now kids are just throwing stuff on the ground.
Somebody have to empty it.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I would do
Yeah.
that, but. I
You
think
would?
that it's- Yeah, trash bags. It's better than
Oh.
me going over there and
Well, we
picking
could
up
probably
everything.
talk to,
Got something. I don't know what
what's
Coral
his name?
does.
One of those painted ones? I think.
Somebody wants to call in.
We can give him a call. Yeah, I'll take care of that.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll take care of that.
I have one you can have.
Oh, a barrel? Oh, okay,
With a lid.
okay. I'll talk to you afterwards. Okay. Cemetery, water, tree work. You wanna give us a rundown on that tree?
Okay, well, the
stuff?
water I already covered, but, so there's pink ribbons in Trucott Cemetery, because we looked at it on the west end. They're just shrubs that have been planted throughout the years that are lifting up some of the stones and just making it horrible to, like, there's a tree that's literally planted in the 3-foot walkway. So mowing, I mean, they've mowed around it for years, but we put ribbons on it. Ron Ismoff went out there, he gave us a quote. I called a couple other guys, they said, they might be able to get to it. I didn't get anything before today, but Ron's, you guys have his quote in front of you and that was removing everything that has the ribbons on it out there, which is, like I said, there are those evergreen shrubs that there's 6 stones hidden in it. You can't even tell that they're there.
I saw it.
And 3 of them are veterans, so we can't even get flags in there for them. So
This
we'd
is
like to,
for 2 sections.
yeah, it's just for those 2 little small sections that we'd like to get done so that we can actually get in and get those flags put up, but,
Do we have a quote for that? From Ron.
yep,
And is that removing the stumps also?
that's everything.
Okay,
It's what he wrote.
so it's poles, that's cutting down, how many trees are there?
Quite a few. We're practically clearing it.
Are we? Okay.
Yeah. It's a lot.
For 2 sections, because we kind of want to see how it goes.
Okay,
And one of them is, there's a pine tree out by the road that's leaning, and it's been leaning quite a ways. And
Yeah, one extra drive, the big trucks have like time to get through there.
yeah, and it is leaning quite over, so, and when the monument trucks come in there, yeah, they have to choose the other drive, and,
Yeah, 'cause we run done a lot of other, before we talked about taking it down, but it wasn't on the actual bid, so.
yeah, so that's what we did is, so that's.
so that's what the pink ribbons are for.
That's correct.
Well, I haven't seen it, so I don't know.
There's spread through there.
Is there?
Yeah,
You
yeah,
saw
there's a lot of stones are,
It was $2,000?
yeah.
Okay, good. Ron always
I
gives
think
us a
it's,
good
Well,
deal.
yeah, you still chew the stumps without being up.
Yeah, he usually gives us about half the price of anybody else.
And you'll get it done fast.
Yeah.
Okay,
so,
I would entertain a motion that we, where does the money come from?
That one we have in the cemetery.
In the cemetery
Repair as
repair,
well.
okay. Entertain a motion that we spend $2,000 on Ron Imhoff removing the trees and stumps in the cemetery that are marked. Motion and second. Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Motion carried. Clean up the cemetery.
The next thing on that is, we did have Worth Garage Door Service out. It's an odd size for the Sexton Shed in Truman, because those doors are literally falling apart. The bottom is completely gone. So this is for a regular just garage door. A roll-up door was, there's not enough headspace for one, because that was a little bit cheaper price, they thought. But he came out and measured, and he said there's no room to put a roll-up door in there, so it'd be a regular on-the-track garage door in there.
Is this the same space that you were talking about at one time? for the-
About a year ago, yes.
Mhm. That is correct.
Yeah, it's a much better price for the
Absolutely.
garage door.
Absolutely. Well,
better.
let's put
Much
this way,
better.
if we would like to, this is for, because there's 2 sets of double doors. Both sets are bad. So this is the quote for
Yeah.
one of them, so we could do a garage door on both ends if we would like, or, because but I wanted to ask what you guys would like to do with that, or call a mason and have them, which I can't imagine what they would charge to knock out those south doors and block it back in, and just have the south.
North end back in.
Mhm.
Yep.
Yeah.
North bad too?
You can see daylight all the way around, they're rotting, they've never been cared for. So,
Does there,
bottom,
does this include any repair work that has to be done to get the
Yep.
door in there?
yes, this includes, because he came and measured and looked at it, and he said this includes all the labor and any of the material he would need to make it work, because it's a little wonky with the
of the things we're concerned about is we got a trailer that's gonna be parked in there now
Yeah.
with the water. And it's off in the corner, really easy to vandalize that. So we want something that we can lock.
Yeah, and make sure it's secure, that's why.
Secure it, yep.
And we did look at like Menards to see like kind of what a comparable size door would be, but obviously this isn't with installation or anything. And this, like I said, it's a weird size, it's 6'4" by 7", and these are, we couldn't find anything at a Menards or Lowe's that was a custom size.
And how much was the Menards one?
Well, that's just for the door was $551.99.
Okay.
That's not with labor, anyone putting it in or anything.
So what's your pleasure with that? Putting a new garage door on that building?
I think it's a good idea. I think a garage door there would be better served than those double doors that we were looking at putting on there
Absolutely.
before.
It's more practical. It
Yeah.
is.
It's a lot less expensive and would be better served in the spot.
I need to repair, keep the building up anyway.
What's your thoughts, Tim?
What's left in the fund? How much money you got set aside?
So we could do, there's about $4,782 left in the ARPA. We have $9,765 in cemetery capital outlay, or there is $4,661 in the Bob Johnson fund.
How much?
$4,661.
I think that, didn't they put that section building up originally from that?
Yes, that's correct.
I'd make a motion, to put front and back door on that building out of the Bob Johnson Memorial Fund.
Okay.
I would second that.
That's a good idea. We're assuming that it's gonna be double that.
Yes, so it'd
In
be
order to
twice
do
this
that.
amount, because,
Yep.
and I had asked him that, and he said, yes, that is
Okay.
correct, because both ends are the same.
And there's nothing else to deal with on that building, right?
That's correct.
That
There's
wraps it
lights
up.
and there's electric there, so.
Okay, we have a motion, we have a second. Any more questions?
Yeah, how much is it?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
$1,250
Pardon?
That's for both?
No, per door.
per door.
How much?
$1,250 per garage door.
That's
That's
including
installed.
framing and installation. Any more questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? So moved. Moving right along. Cemetery data entry work. We had bought the Sims about a year ago. And we had talked about planning to have the data entered. There's a lot of work involved in that, and we have it broke down. Where's that?
60 hours.
Yeah, that might be a bit much, but we have an hourly rate.
15 bucks an hour.
Yeah, we have an hourly rate that we're gonna pay, so, at the bottom. So that might come out significantly less. But what we have is we got 5,500 records. And, they're all over the place in different places. And what we have is, they figured, what did it say, a minute or 10 minutes per work?
About 5 minutes.
Yeah,
per
per
record.
record.
Could be more, could be less, depends on how much information you're gonna have to pull, because some of them have
So-
information in 3 or 4 different places. So you're gonna be cross-referencing all of these things to make sure that we have all the information. Julie's said that she would do it. So, but you're gonna have to be, I mean, she's been the one that has been doing the most work with all of the information.
But she's willing to do it for that price, huh?
Yes.
We had discussed.
Nobody works for $15 an hour.
We had discussed before paying her
Yes.
$15 an hour to put the
Yes.
information into the system instead of paying more to have
Yes,
information that we didn't really know if it was going to be accurate.
and she has
Loaded
been
in
very,
by a
very
third party.
accurate at what she's done
Yeah.
so far.
And
Done a lot of
Sims,
research.
I believe Sims was, I think it was close to $25,000 for data entry. You know, I mean, which,
It would be a daunting task.
Absolutely, it's going to be a daunting task.
And this is, you know, covering, I don't know how many decades.
It's all of them.
I
Yeah.
do feel like
So-
though, we would be imposing on Julie to just say, Julie gets to do it for $15 an hour. I
Yeah.
feel like we also have to open it up to any, either.
If she wants an assistant or
If she
something.
wants some help to be able to put it in, to pay somebody else $15 an hour as well. You know, maybe my deputy, or maybe, I'm not speaking for you, Susan, but possibly,
Anybody.
other people that would be able to help her put it in because, or maybe even members.
That's a lot of
maybe,
hours.
You know, anybody that we already pay would be willing to help Julie because that's a lot of hours.
That's what I said, you know, when Julie and I talked about it, I said it'd probably be easier for her to start off first so she can kind of get a rhythm down of figuring out what I think the best, and then figure out.
I
how to
agree,
have
but
help,
if we
'cause-
circle back to her 200 hours later and ask her.
Absolutely.
She might have a different
She
take on it.
might have a different answer.
Well, and then she'll have a system and be able to say, here you go, this is exactly how you do it, and check this, this,
Yes, yeah, yeah,
and
this is a great idea. So what's our pleasure with this?
Pleasure is the software doesn't do us any good if it isn't,
Data
correct,
entry.
doesn't have any data in
Yep.
it?
And I think that this is a good deal. And I think we have somebody that's highly qualified, doing a very, very meticulous record-keeping job. That's my input. So if we could have a motion,
Make motion to hire Julie to input some information.
not to exceed the $6,000 at the rate of $15 per hour. Okay, have a
And
second?
if you need help, please don't hesitate.
Oh, yeah,
to
we
come
wanna
back
add that
to the
on
board
there,
and
onto
ask
that
to be able
motion.
to- Because that is a
It's a
daunting
daunting
task for us.
It's a good-
It is.
Well, she's already started, she's gonna have more than anybody else in, and if
Yeah.
hire somebody else, she's already into it. so.
Yep.
well, this is a one-time deal anyway, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
we're just loading the information in that's been.
Yep.
And then once the information's in, you can make a backup and then.
It's
Yeah.
already backed
Well-
up, because this will be on, it is in the cloud already, so it is already backed up, so we don't have to worry about if there's fire, and building goes down. It's
We have
already-
training on Monday.
Cloud.
It's in the cloud, so
We have
it's,
training on Monday, 2 hours.
People
We're
around.
gonna be ready to go.
I think I'm kidding.
Good. So, we got, did we have a motion?
we have, we need a motion, I'm just waiting for a second.
Do we have a second? Okay, we got a motion, we have a second, any more discussion? Oh,
So we can
okay.
use capital, we have the cemetery capital outlay that has $9,765 in it. And then there's
We can't
also,
use the ARPA.
no, we don't have nothing in our, but we do have, our big capital outlay, which has about 400,000 in it. If we'd like to use out of that one, but I mean, I guess it doesn't,
And I think we should take it as the cemetery capital
Cemetery,
outlay, and
yeah.
if in the future we need to move more.
We can move money from the,
that's what I was thinking.
sounds good. Take it from the cemetery capital outlay.
Okay.
We have a motion and we have a second. All in favor say, oh, do we want to do a roll call on that?
We can.
Yeah, let's do a roll call on Lee. Yep. Miranda?
Yes.
Tim? Andy?
Yes.
That's a yes for me too. Oh, we got 5 minutes to go through 5 more things. And then public comment. We got that special land use thing for,
Communication tower, number 1.
yep, I see that.
I'm here if you have any questions about the communication tower.
Oh, wonderful.
So, I'm with the Powder River Development and representing PowerCo.
Okay. So this is in compliance with our,
That's correct.
already? Okay.
And it was on the requirement, so.
And there were no objections to it at all? So it passed with flying colors during the public hearing? So what's your pleasure to do with this?
I will make a motion that we give it the stamp of approval as it was presented to the planning commission.
And do we have support?
And my only caveat to that is, in the planning commission minutes, it says that they asked for an extension for special land use for 2 years. We strike that because special land use is perpetual. It just stays with the land. There's no time limit to it.
Yeah, okay.
That'd been nice to know.
It's a permanent special land use is what
So,
it is.
yeah, until they take it down or
Or the
or
land
they
is
sell,
sold.
or
Yeah.
the land is sold,
Yeah,
it stays
they'll
with.
transfer, then stay with the land. Okay? So we have a motion, we have a second. We have support. Hopefully we'll get better cell service there.
Yeah.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Okay, this is my
What he was
baby.
asking for was, in case they didn't have it done in that amount of time. It wasn't.
Since this is
land
election
use
year,
under
this is the one
year.
big thing I wanna do. And that's put, if I don't get reelected, that's
We
put
can only hope.
overhead wiring for on the utility poles for the rest of the utility poles for the Christmas decorations. We enjoyed the decorations, but there were so many of them that were missing. And so this would rewire all those. We have some very, very bad, very, very iffy wiring up there at this time.
Technically, it's all hijacked and
Yeah, basically, yeah.
it was never put
It was
in
never put in properly.
properly.
Okay?
And this puts a new 100 amp overhead service on the utility pole in front of the township hall office door.
That pole is right there by the handicap, because that's where they have to put the service. Currently, there is no service for it. It's all just off the line. It's all just.
Stolen.
For lack of a better
I
word.
think the way it is great.
I do too.
The way it is
I didn't know you could do that, or otherwise I'd be doing it myself.
Yeah.
Just kidding. Don't put that in the paper. Anyways, any discussion on that?
How many poles?
Oh, that's a good question. 36 poles.
Holy, 36.
That'd be from the top of the hill down to the Methodist Church?
And that's what the little map is, but you can adjust it if you'd like, stop it where you'd like it. This was just the quote for,
Yep.
from one end of town to the other.
Like I said, it's 36 poles. And oh my goodness, I don't know. Here's the deal. It's a 50-year investment. And every Christmas morning, every snow-covered morning, it looks so refreshing to come through and see the lights in our town. And it's a lot of money, but I think it adds so much to the, huh?
That's what I know about.
I know, it's a lot of money.
And what's the total?
15,000, something. Like I said, it's 14,595. That would cover all new electrical and all the poles, all new wiring, and a proper meter box, because right now it's just jumped into the wires that are there with no breakers or anything.
That don't sound like a bad price for 36 poles with electrical. Who's doing it?
This quote is from Ambo Electric.
If you do one village, what about the other?
Yeah, we should do that too.
Do Truffin and do Coral then.
Yeah, we're not leaving Truffin out. It's just that Truffin's, the ones they have right now work. Okay? Corals don't. So,
What I thought would be a nice add in Truppen, since we're talking about electrical things, would
Yeah.
be, there's telephone poles running in front of the businesses there, and we should do some sort of a cast iron style. One of the residents brought it up,
Oh,
doing some kind of nice lighting above that walk path in front of the businesses and such. And you could attach something, you know, a lot of towns have nice
lamp
cast
posts, yep.
lamp posts, you know,
Mhm.
but, you know, there's nowhere to really stick them there, but you could do the kind that hang off.
Hang off the poles.
Yeah.
That would be beautiful. Anything to make our towns more beautiful.
I agree.
I am in favor of.
So I wanna put that on the table for things to get quoted and
Okay,
looked at. I almost think, you know, you do one fail swoop and hit both towns same time, actually,
That's what I was wondering, if we could ask Amble Electric to get us a price on Trufen at the same time.
okay, we'd have to,
That they were doing this. I'm not shooting down the idea of doing this right now so that we can get started on something, but
we are obligated to two communities.
yeah, I would like to, and I'll even take on the responsibility if you want me to reach out to Amble, or
Doesn't matter to me.
either one of us, yeah.
We would just need to figure out in Trufen where we want them. That's gonna be that's what he's gonna ask is from which street to which street.
I'm sure either Tim or myself could meet him there and we could walk through and point some of that out, or somebody from the board here can.
The idea's been brought up, let's get a better plan,
Yeah.
Okay,
and then we'll just ratify.
so you wanna table it
I do.
till,
Momentarily, I'd like to talk to the person that brought up the idea, I'd like to see what he had in his head, you know, get it in my head,
okay,
then we get a hold of him.
that would be me.
Yeah.
That would be me. I was disappointed to have all these decorations up there and not all be lit.
I'm with you.
And then I thought, well, let's fix the other poles that aren't lit. And then we found out that, so the story goes that those poles are not lit properly. Okay, so they're patched into the wires, and that's pretty much illegal. And then we found out how much it would cost to have all the poles. That was the progression that it went.
If we decide to modify the towns, where does this money come from?
Capital outlay.
And what do we have set aside annually for that?
We just have one big bucket currently,
Yeah.
Oh,
400,000.
Okay.
yeah.
In an outlay project like this is a long term, you know, it's our
And this-
one-time
and this-
investment in our community.
Yeah. And this one was set aside already.
Do it, cause it's gotta be a safety issue.
Yeah.
They're just,
Well, yeah.
nitty picky,
They
put it in
didn't-
there,
they
and
didn't-
make them work.
So the people that put the decorations up didn't like it at all.
Are you talking Trufen too? I mean, was there problems in Trufen?
Trufen is actually has an actual, proper electrical system on their poles. So, yes, we wanna expand Trufens, but Trufens are good right now. Corals are not at all.
So there's like 8, how many poles, do you know how many poles we put up this year in Trufen? How many
12.
decorations?
12.
12? I mean, that's hardly any, you know, 6 per side driving down.
Yeah,
I mean, I get the idea, I'd like to see more there too, and fix coral at the same time.
It is a safety issue.
Okay.
Should be done.
yes, sir.
Trufen's actual wiring is good, it's up to code.
That's what
Well, I'm just saying, if
company
it's
that
up
we,
to
the people
code,
that we had put
yeah,
that we rented the decorations from, said that Trufen was good. We haven't been there, did Amble check theirs?
They did not.
Amble did not
Because we
check.
had more issues with coral, so
Yeah.
that's why we called Amble and had them come and look
So-
at this.
We brought you in about 80% into the story is the problem. So we were having a conversation with the decoration people. Then we had conversation with Amble and consumers. And then, now this is where we are, that
And
coral's bad, Trufen's electrical is not that bad, not bad.
Shouldn't there be more than one quote, though? Instead of just going with one? I'm just asking if there should be,
Now we can.
well, then it will most, I I will tell you right now that
It won't get done this year.
It will not get done this year because consumers needs 4 to 8 weeks lead time,
In order to get done.
at least, to
So
get it
why did
started.
you only get
It's May.
one estimate? You got Arc Electric, you got Hayden Electric out of Sand Lake, you got Arc out of Howard City. You got Amble.
You got Berry Electric.
You know, you got a lot of
That was,
electrical
that's what I was
contractors around
asking,
this
was
area.
electrical quotes. I don't know what the consumers is.
And I do believe that it stated somewhere that we have to have three quotes on anything like
Okay,
that.
let's table it.
Yep, good idea.
We won't have electricity this year.
Possibly.
I'll just get another.
No, there's no way that we're gonna have 3 quotes and get it done and get it hooked up this year. That's all right. Moving on. Coral Community Center, roundtables. We had roundtables for the Christmas the holiday celebration, and they were enjoyed. We have lots of rentals, and roundtables are just beautiful for weddings, for anything that you're
For
gonna
events,
use. Any event, they are much better than the square ones. And so, we got a quote here for 15 of the 60-inch roundtables. Whatever you guys wish to do with that, if you're interested in purchasing those. And also, we had talked about wanting to
Start replacing some of the chairs.
start replacing some of the chairs.
And this would come out of capital outlay.
Yeah,
Would this come out of the rental fees for the hall?
No, this
No.
would be an investment.
it would be investment in the future. It would take a little bit of time to get this back.
Then what does the rental fees go for?
Well, yeah, I mean, it goes back into it, yeah.
It's not a separate bucket.
It's not a separate bucket.
Yeah, so when it comes in as income, it's not kept separate to use towards future expenses of the hall.
Okay.
It goes into the general fund.
It goes
Yeah.
into the general fund.
Yeah.
So it'd be 15 tables, and do you have any idea how many chairs you were looking at?
Each table sits about 7.
What we had here was for 60 chairs, just a random number, because they came in small packs. And that was just so you
5
could
packs
see,
of chairs.
that wasn't
And they're
set in
upgraded
stone.
chairs.
And are they the same kind like this right here? Or are they the
Nice.
white back, white seat?
No, they're metal, they're
Metal.
black metal
Black
Oh,
with
black metal.
padded,
with a
with a
slight
vinyl,
pad.
Okay.
So that'd be,
easily wiped off and clean.
On average, it's like $22.50 a chair.
And they're like stackable, is that what you're gonna do with them, or they
We have-
fold?
We have carts.
Just
Just
like
like we
these
have.
metal ones,
Oh,
they go
they
on
fold.
carts, yeah.
So they're gonna be the fold up,
Yep.
like these?
How much are the tables?
Tables vary.
yeah, we have several, we have 3 different quotes here.
What's the highest quote?
$29.69, that's for 15 tables with a cart that holds them.
Yeah. Then we got one for,
And you can get them within about a week and a half.
that's the one we recommend because of the time factor.
Or there's other one that is from, so that one, now, the one from Sam's Club does not come with a cart
Oh,
to
yeah.
hold them.
I think we
The
do the
top
card.
2 have carts with them, the one from Costco does come with a cart, but that is 4 to 6 weeks. No, I'm sorry, 3 to 4 weeks lead time for shipping, it said.
And they're the same chair, same table.
Same table, they're the exact same table, brand and everything.
Do we have interest in pursuing this, or,
I think it would be an investment in our community center. I mean, I agree that the round tables do need
much more. Much more. Like 100 times better.
Seems like getting run off so much more now, we should have something nice here when they come in.
That's what I
Question.
think.
Round tables, is that in addition to the long tables?
Yeah,
Or keep
we
all-
already have the long tables.
Right,
We
right.
just add round tables.
I didn't know if you were gonna, yeah,
No.
keep the long and.
For 29.69 for 15 and some, I'm just trying to envision 15 in this room.
Late fit.
Oh, yeah, oh, easily, yeah. We could get, how many do we have for Christmas?
6.
Add 6 in here, yeah. Easily put 15 in here.
Then I'll make a motion to buy 15 round tables for $2,969.
Okay,
Do you want to do the chairs at the same time or no?
I think we want the chairs. You want to do the chairs with your motion, or you want to do a separate motion for that?
How much you want?
It's 13.49 for the chairs.
How much?
I want to make sure we have enough chairs for your tables though.
120.
I would say that was for 6 years, so, because they came in 12 packs. So,
15, well, that wouldn't be enough, that'd be only 4 tables, 4 chairs.
so I didn't know.
If you want eight chairs per table, you're gonna have 120 chairs.
120 chairs?
5-foot table will fit 8 chairs,
Yeah.
trust me.
And you know this.
So how
So we
much-
would have another,
13.
$2,700 for chairs, is that, to have enough, to have 120 chairs.
How many
Yeah.
rentals did you say we have already?
Right now, we have every Saturday booked in June, that's 5 weekends.
Okay.
And then we have 3 events booked for July, 1 event so far in August. And we just showed,
And what kind of monetary income is that?
it varies, because some have done an all-day rental, which has been $200. Then the last weekend in June is $800 because they're non-residents, and renting it for a weekend for the wedding. My thought is, as well as the room that they're finishing up there, you could easily put like 3 round tables. Absolutely. Small event, because we're looking at renting that small area possibly really inexpensive, so that.
This area right here.
No, there's an office area in the other building,
In the other building.
where they're putting the
And where they're doing the work right now, that, long area behind the office. If we don't have a use for it, we might as well rent it for small things like birthday parties at a really discounted rate.
And it's about 30 by 18,
I would say so.
something like that. It's the size of the room.
30 by 18.
Yeah, decent size room.
Okay.
So what come with a cart? Are you gonna be getting a cart? Something came with a cart
The
Tables.
come with a cart.
for the
Push it.
Yeah,
29.69?
so we can push it right
Correct,
out back,
and it
yeah.
looks very similar to the same kind of cart that the chairs come on. You
Okay.
just roll the tables out.
Sure.
They're built for it with a radius in it to set the table
Sure.
right in there. What are we thinking?
It sounds like the rentals that we're gonna have coming up, and then I mean, it's not.
Cover the
money
cost of
don't
it.
match, but
Yeah,
it's close.
yeah.
And the future will actually just get more.
Word gets out,
That's right.
the more we gain, the more word gets out, that's how nice it is.
Yeah. I expect a waiting list very soon.
So Miranda, to go back to your motion that Lee seconded, you would like to purchase the 15 tables with the cart from Amazon, along with 120 chairs from Amazon. Correct, and the 120 chairs came with a total of about $2,700. Yep.
We have support for that? Support. Any more discussion?
Out of the capital outlay. The capital outlay. We don't have enough left in the ARPA, do we? Close.
I say wipe out our book,
Yeah.
take the rest out of capital outlay, that'd be a good investment of that money.
Yeah, okay, I would
get that going, get it all committed.
I use it pretty quick anyway.
Yep. Finish that.
Got it.
Any more discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. That's gonna be a great addition to our experience here. Okay, next.
For just the chairs?
Property foreclosures and procedures. You brought this up.
I did. So there was a list provided to us by the county. I thought the list would be in our packet, but it's not.
I did not.
I don't
missed
put
it when
that
I
on
did it.
Maybe I should have made a copy of it myself. There is one property in our township that we would obviously have the first right of refusal on. The property is located in Truefit. It is a house. I couldn't see any use for the township. But we do have to discuss it and make sure that it's not something that we want. The house is located on the corner of
East Street and
Second.
Second.
So, is there any, does anybody want any more information on it? Do we think it's something that we,
I drove past it, I mean,
it's very.
it'd be cool for somebody, but, I mean, not us.
It's cool, it would be a project.
Yeah, that's, yeah, it'd be a project.
I mean, we don't have any use for
We
it,
don't
but
have
we
any
need to
use
get
for
our
it.
tax money out of it.
Correct, it will go up for tax sale
It'll go for tax
in
sale.
August.
If we purchase it for that, or is it going, we can buy it for the present now, or do we have to wait for the auction?
We could
Behind
express
it?
our interest in it now.
Behind the elevator.
But then the township would own it. Do you have a reason for that?
Resale?
We couldn't fix it up and sell it.
No? Okay,
Okay.
not possible.
We would not be able to use that as an investment.
Okay. What's the other plan?
Just shy of 2,000, I believe. Was a very low number.
And we have really no use for that piece of property. I didn't see it.
I mean, I couldn't think of, I went and stood in front of it and looked, trying to think of what we might be able to do with it. But the condition is so that it would really take a large investment
Okay.
to be able to get it up to par. The only thing I thought is that maybe the fire department would want to use it as a controlled burn situation.
It's that bad.
Oh.
The backside of that house, the roof is,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, it's really
the
bad.
foundation's gone.
Yeah, the roof
It's-
has
it's a
fallen
wreck.
in.
So we need to let that go.
Well, it does need to be taken care of in the sense that I feel
Okay.
like we would be doing our community justice to make sure that it gets
Bulldozed under.
bulldozed under or
It's been
something.
empty since like 2000, 2005, something like that.
So it's going up for tax auction.
Okay.
So if we, it's on the 2 year second, so if we did purchase it, so we can't use it as an investment, and we would just basically have the fire department come and burn it down, but then what would we do with the property? Would we sell it at that point, or no?
So if there is interest, I will definitely get us more details. I really didn't think there was going to be.
So, I mean, if,
interest in it.
here's the problem. If it gets sold and someone doesn't clean it up, we're better off getting it, purchasing it, clearing it out, and then reselling as it is, so that it's bulldozed under and it's cleaned up.
I don't think you have any trouble selling a corner lot.
Yeah, by the next meeting, I will have more
Okay.
details.
So let's table that?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
But I
Thank you
will
very much.
definitely find out the details.
Because I hate to go, so I mean, I'm in the middle of the blight thing. I'd hate to go through that with another property. It might be easier for us to bulldoze it down ourselves, clean it up, and then resell it
And maybe
for what we
could
got
work out
into it.
something with the fire department.
Yep,
or-
yep, let them burn it, take care of it, yep. I'm just saying, be much faster that way.
I will email everyone the information and we
Okay.
can discuss it at the next meeting.
Awesome. Thank you very much for bringing that up. Okay. Now, the purchase policy for Maple Valley Township is right there. That's a lot of reading.
how many quotes and, you know, making sure that we're getting comparable quotes when we have things done. And I was lingering in the background of a meeting that Andy was in, and I heard them talking about how we really should have a purchasing policy, and that just because we have a budget doesn't mean we automatically have the authority to be able to purchase from those budget line items, so purchasing policy really clears that up for us. So I was able to go out there on the internet and find a bunch of different policies and kind of merge them in together. But what it does do is talks about, at what point do we have to have comparable quotes? And you'll see that on page 5 of 10. So if it's less than $1,000, then we would not need a quote. If it's 1,000 to 5,000, you have to have 3 quotes, but you can be verbal. You just have to have 3 sets of information from 3 different sources. But anything over $5,000, you do have to have 3 written quotes in order to be able to do it. So in anything over $10,000, we would have to do, put out an RFP and have sealed bids. Now, obviously, we can change these numbers. These numbers are here tonight for us to discuss. This isn't set in stone, so what it's doing is putting parameters in place, not just for ourselves, but for future boards. Because even though we know what we're talking about here, and we try to be as transparent as possible, who's to say, who's to say with the future boards?
When you found these, were these for townships similar of our population, or did it really
They were.
matter, or?
It was all over the board.
Okay.
But I tried to take the information from townships that seemed similar in size.
Because I know obviously for larger ones, then.
Yep,
they're
for
doing
larger
really-
ones, the dollar amount obviously is substantially larger for some of them. But we can have the conversation, this is to start the conversation. So does anybody have any feedback?
I mean, I love this, because I think it's great, because like you said, it spells everything out. I guess I would like to look at a couple that are closer to our size, that would say, you know, maybe the first tier would be 2,000. I'm just thinking about, okay, well, you know, what if it's 2 days before the election, and both the laptops, or a laptop quits that we use for the election, and I have to get one right away, and it's, you know, $1,100. I mean, I know that there's probably provisions that there is.
Emergency purchases.
Emergency
There is
purchases,
emergency
so.
purchase, there is emergency purchase provision, that would give Dan the authority to approve
Prove
any
something like that.
emergency purchase that is.
And how much is the emergency purchase?
Yeah, is there
So there
parameters
is,
on that? or
I
is
don't
it-
believe there is parameters on the emergency purchase.
Well, public health, safety, or welfare of the township or its citizens.
And that's why I wondered if something like that would fall under the emergency.
So if it's obviously for the welfare of the township,
Yeah,
that it has
yeah.
the computer that works for the election, because
Okay.
that's
Okay.
part of our responsibility.
Yeah.
So something like that would be,
Covered underneath that.
covered.
Underneath that,
Okay.
okay.
So it leaves the emergency purchase.
When, okay, when we're selecting contractors, how do you go about, the public outreach?
We have to contact them individually because they just do not, if you put an announcement out, nobody responds.
Nobody's watching.
Nobody's watching, period.
So could we?
So it's word of mouth or whatever,
Could we
whoever we
collect
can
a
find.
mailing, could we collect a mailing list of usual contractors that we use? And we have something, you know, we can,
And just forward it all to them.
Interesting.
yeah.
That's an interesting
But, I
idea.
mean, we do that.
Because
at
we
work.
cannot get anybody to put a bid on something that we put out in the paper or anywhere.
Well, I think that's because of lack of knowledge of the request.
Yeah. that could
Our
be.
township is full of professionals. I mean, when I say full, it is full. We have heating, cooling contractors, we got electrical contractors, we got builders, we got guys that'll do kitchen trim work. You know, and
Sam,
they
that
just,
sounds like a project for you, that you should put together a list of all these people, professionals for us.
I can give you the ones that I know.
No,
I think we could all add to the list. I mean,
That'd be good.
all of us have contacts for getting
Not me, I do all
quotes.
my own work.
And if we, yeah, me too, but I know. But I think that's one thing that is put together the people you know, so we can put together a list
mailing
of these
that
things,
goes
of
out.
these people.
Yep, that's a great idea.
I know there is some legality to do this. Can it be posted on Facebook when we are requesting bids for?
We can post it that states that we are searching for them, but direct them back to their website or to an email address.
So I
They don't
would,
want us to put out the
actual
the actual
Facebook,
RFP.
Facebook will get shared amongst the community.
It'll get
members.
shared, but as long as it's on there that says, hey, we are searching for this, and you can give a general, that they,
so here's an idea. Facebook moves fast, and along with other, how about if we put out some kind of a request for people that wish to be on our
professional list.
professional list? Somehow worded so that we can create a list.
Or community recommendations of contractors people have used in the past.
Yeah,
That
You
way
might
anybody
get-
could recommend anybody that way. That-
Yeah,
that's
you
what
might
we're
get more
looking for,
response
yeah.
that way.
Yeah.
That way, then the community will share the hell out of that. You're-
Right.
And then you'll get the email addresses
Yeah,
that you're looking
yeah,
for.
that's the best way to do it, yep.
And then when we want bids, we just send it out to all of them. We're not
Yep.
selective as to.
Yeah, blanket email, hey.
Yeah, because.
We're looking for this.
Yep,
Yeah, we're looking
that's
for
a
like,
great idea.
like
And
that.
we've had so much trouble trying to find people.
But I think partially because we're trying to do it on a one-on-one
Yep, yep,
basis, whereas we just send it out blanket to all of them.
okay.
It'd be nice to give our township
Priority.
residents that have these
Yep.
businesses priority.
Yeah.
Keep the money in our township, if not our township, in our county, before we go out to other counties. Because isn't there revenue sharing that would benefit us by doing that?
Yep.
Okay, I don't know for sure how that works, but I still just think we need to take, priority for our township and then our county, and then if we can't find anybody
Well,
outside.
they're living in our community, they're spending the money that we pay them in our
Exactly.
community.
I just heard it from some people, they reached out to me, I didn't even know this was up for bid, and I'm like, how do we reach you then?
Yeah.
How do we know
I
to
like
get
the
this
idea.
out there?
I like the idea of having
Is
a
there
list,
like
I like the idea
a,
of
like,
creating-
community liaison position or anything like that? Like a person that's in charge of managing your guys' social media accounts and creating those kinds of forms so that the community can reach out to you?
We have our email out on our website,
The clerk does all the work.
so.
She's busy.
Is that like a position you could create? Like as a volunteer? I would volunteer to do that position. That's something I have skills in.
We'll talk. So the person, so
What
we
do we,
kind of blew off track of the, what you were talking about, Miranda, the policy.
After looking at it a little bit closer, the sealed bids portion is, so I almost feel like we could do away with the last row where it says 10,000 or greater sealed bids and simply make it $5,000 and over, 3 quotes attached to PO in a formal solicitation. By formal solicitation, it means that we have to put it out there someplace. We can't
It's
just.
in the paper.
Yeah,
it's
we have to
on-
either put it in the paper or put it on Facebook or put it on our website, put it someplace that we can point people to be able to get it. Instead of just,
I say we use our website and Facebook as a communication tool.
for formal solicitation on that. And when it says the contact to initiate the purchase, when it says department head, really that means that any project that Dan comes up with, or that he comes up with, or that I come up with, or Andy comes up with, we have to spearhead our own. So if I want to, like Andy talked about the electrical, then he would be the one that would create the purchase order and get the quotes.
So we're gonna drop the 10,000 line,
Drop the 10,000
and
line
then add the formal solicitation to the top,
to
the
the
one
top.
above it.
Yep.
Make those amendments and adopt it.
That would then get rid of 5 for purchases of over $10,000. Have to get that together as well.
I think that's a great summary.
It does also talk about conflicts of interest. Conflicts of interest, yes. So I was looking for it, of course.
That's the last page.
Conflicts of interest. No member of the board, individually or through a business in which he or she is an owner, partner, or has a financial interest other than as the employee will be allowed to bid or perform as a contractor or subcontractor on township construction projects. So that does not mean that, I'm not trying to throw you out here, Dan, but if we just decided to pay Dan to do the floors, that's not a construction project, it's a service.
Yeah.
So it just says that there's no construction project to be done.
So, nor former township employees
Correct.
or former township board members?
Yeah, so,
I thought there was something in here, it goes on in the back, okay. 'Cause I was gonna say, it said something about unless it was,
approved by the township board.
yeah. Well, that's a lot of reading. Do we need to read this and then adopt it next month, or?
I can make the revisions and bring it back.
I don't think we need to, yeah, I think that would be a better idea.
I will make the revisions then.
Just
bring it
pretty
back.
much that one chart, okay?
Yep, it's section 4 where it talks about that chart. I will make that
Okay.
revision. Any other parts of the policy that anyone has any concerns with?
Well, we can contact you and we can bring them up at the next meeting. Now we can add them. Yeah,
There's other things, yeah, if something comes up, I'll make those revisions and bring it back to you.
okay, moving on. Public comments. 3 minutes, go.
Can I bring
Yeah.
these up to you guys?
What's that?
Papers?
Sure.
Now, I did not go over this with the planning commission board whatsoever. This is just something I come up with. The subject is Andy Knapp's conduct at the planning commission meeting on April 15th. I think she was out of line. In my personal opinion, that a public apology to the planning commission is needed from Andy Knapp. Section 2 on that says she was out of line.
And what opinion did she express?
She was pretty rude and outspoken and
What opinion did she express?
about the
That was-
$1 million that was a liability and why it was there. And she was very disrespectful to the planning commission. And her personal opinion cannot be put in, and she let it be known that she was the clerk at that meeting. So she was representing herself as a public official, voicing her personal opinion, which she can't, standard code of conduct for public officials. She can't do that, but she did.
Well, it was an open meeting.
Yes, it was.
I'm a resident of this township. I did not state that I was the clerk. But I will say, the question I asked about the insurance was what type, because there was a missing word in that sentence.
Yep.
It did not state whether it was a property or liability. That was the question that I asked. So I don't think that was out of line to ask those questions at a public meeting. And it wasn't my personal opinion, it was a state of fact that the word was missing.
How about the statement at the table, how do you like being yelled at?
Well,
That is disrespectful to the committee.
I never spoke those words.
Yes, you did.
We have it on tape,
Yeah,
Andy,
we
you
got
can't
it on
deny
tape.
it.
Please play the tape.
Anyway, that's my
Go ahead.
personal opinion.
Watch
That's why I
it.
didn't take it to the board or do anything about it.
Yep.
But she was very
This is
disrespectful.
public comment. I don't know, Dan, if you can't understand what public comment is at a meeting. He gives comment, you listen, you don't ask questions. There's no questions asked in a meeting or at public comment. That's how these meetings are supposed to be run. If you're gonna serve this community, you have to follow the rules, and that goes for the planning commission and the board. This back and forth has to stop. Public comment is public comment. It isn't comment from that table. You give your comment, and the board looks at it, and you go on to the next comment. There is no board comment at public comment. Period. 3 minutes, he's done. That's it. If they want to discuss further, this is how this stuff gets out of hand. See, the planning committee, if they've got a problem with something, the board is available. They have email, phone, everything. That's where you deal with this stuff. Not, this is ridiculous. Period.
And it was dealt with, right here in this room, and it went no further. Nobody else did this man right here didn't do anything about it. I had a conference with that lady right down there and with him, and it didn't go any further.
It went to the board, that's all that matters.
But I don't think anything was done about it.
Okay, I'm gonna put my 2 cents in here. I think the community is getting really tired. We worked hard to get this community where we've got it. Now we have cat fight, backfighting, junior high tactics. It needs to
I'm
stop
done.
and start working together again. I've never seen a community start tearing into each other's justice.
Really?
I like
Really?
it.
Maybe you ought to watch all the
I'm
meetings.
tired of it.
That's the state of Michigan Code of Conduct for elected officials.
We need to stop this crap. What happened to working together?
Ridiculous.
Well, the thing is,
We're
it's
doing
much
tit for
easier,
tat.
it's much easier for a community to come together against something than to come together to build something. Because everybody has their opinion about how things should be built and how they should be done.
But we need to work like adults,
Yeah, well,
not this crap.
some people, yeah. And just because it didn't go the way that you wanted to, Robin, doesn't mean that I didn't deal with it.
Okay, fine. That's,
Okay? Go ahead, Ann.
Ann Scobie Peterson, Maple Valley Township. I've been at these meetings for a long time now, sat at that table during the wind conflict meetings. Still don't know which way I feel about it. However, I would like to say thank you to you and past board members that have allowed this to be sort of an open comment type meeting where we can ask questions while you're discussing things. So that way we out here have more information and transparency. And I want to tell you, thank you for allowing us to do that. And yes, we do need to learn to get along, et cetera, et cetera. But I don't want to see it where you say your opinion and that's it. And you've already voted on something and we have questions or comments or like the discussion that just came about getting a list of the contractors. That was something I was going to discuss at public comment. You guys have discussed that. We were allowed to have input and I like that. Thank you very much.
Because the last board was so shut off from people commenting and other people talking, I have purposely allowed people to talk during the meeting, and I know that I don't have to do that. But I was hoping that by doing that, we could work together and that we could not be at each other's throat. That was my goal. I watched the video. Okay? She asked a question. And what she said during that meeting was not even close to what was said during the wind turbine stuff. Not even close.
Also wasn't a clerk out in the audience saying it.
There was legitimate questions that she asked. And it embarrassed the people that were on the panel because they weren't ready for it. And that's 90% of what this is about.
No, we weren't embarrassed about not being ready for it. It was embarrassing that we weren't given the information. Like when I asked tonight about the attorney, her comment was, did any of you ask the attorney any questions? We didn't know we could ask the attorney any questions. You had 4 brand new people up there that had never been at a public hearing for an ordinance at that point. That was the first time. And she did say, I'm Andy Knapp, Maple Valley Township Clerk, in case you didn't know. And you can watch the video. It is in there. It's on the Facebook page. And I didn't hide anything about, you can say that we should be embarrassed up there, Dan. I don't think we should have been embarrassed up there. We were all learning. And for you to say we should be embarrassed, that's
I didn't
really...
say you should be, I said you are.
Well, I wasn't.
You're not embarrassed.
No, I'm not.
And you should be happy with the performance.
No, not when
What
somebody
is
acts
dri-
like that when we were
explain to
attacked.
me what is driving your anger right now?
Being attacked was what, and I didn't have any anger, but being attacked, I have not, all I did was send you the video and say, look what your clerk did to your PC. Never talked to you about it
I thought they were
again.
valid. I thought she asked valid questions. I thought every question she asked was valid.
Okay.
I was also at that meeting, I felt
You
like
don't
their
agree?
questions, they had a lot of good questions.
Not that the questions were wrong, but that board is an extension of us, and we should be treating them with
See,
respect.
I don't see them as an extension of us. I see them, the board, as its own entity that has a job to do, and they need to be proficient at that job. And be able
Without
to
the
figure-
proper leadership, we can't be.
You are your own leaders. You're your own board. I'm not, I have no power over your board, except for selecting them. You are your own entity. The planning commission is there to do a job.
You don't
I'm
think,
not there, would you please be patient? It is not my job to work and to guide the planning commission. It is my job to be the supervisor of the township and to be on the board. The planning commission creates the ordinances of the zoning or whatever they need to do and then presents it to the board. If I spend my time doing your job and my job, why do we have the planning commission?
You're gonna have,
The planning commission has a job to do.
if you're gonna have the clerk come in and belittle the planning commission, maybe you ought to do it.
What?
If you're gonna have the clerk come in and belittle the people on the planning commission, like she did, running backwards and forth across back here, then maybe you should be the head of the planning commission, and maybe you should all take the care of doing the planning commission. Also, that was very disrespectful, the way she presented it. And I was in the office that day when she handed me that paper from Adam, whoever on Cowden Lake, that didn't like the $1 million and like that. She could have said something then, but she didn't. She waited to bring it to the planning when we were meeting and try to belittle us. You know, you can screw me once, shame on you. Shame on me if it happens twice, and I'll never get blindsided again. And she blindsided us on the planning commission. That is something that an elected official should not be able to do with her personal opinion. And she was voicing her personal opinion as the clerk of Maple Valley Township. She does not have the right to do that according to the code of conduct on that paper right there. And that's what she was doing. I'm done.
I'll say, it's 3 minutes, we're up, you get one chance, that's the other thing. We got, you know, we only got one chance to speak.
Okay, so here we are. We can either go away mad. or we
I'm
can
not
come-
mad, I
or we
was
can-
laughing at it when it happened. I was up there laughing. I couldn't figure out if she was running for reelection or if she was representing a person that she knew. I didn't know, but I thought it was one,
I'm
just the
gonna say
way she
this
was
much.
acting.
I asked questions because I finally sat down and read it, because as a board member, we will end up ultimately voting on it and looking at it. I asked questions because there was inconsistencies with the language within the ordinance. Now,
I agree,
whether,
there was.
whether or not Mr. Adam, whoever, what his name was, that had sent the email, that I forwarded the email on to you guys, that he had issues because that was his right to do at a public hearing.
That's right.
I didn't see that he had an issue with the insurance. Again, I asked about the missing word, of what type. And as far as that being, yes, Gordon, that was your first public hearing, and it was Ann Miller's first public hearing. The other three had been through one.
No.
He's been through a couple. Penny and Robin were both have been through.
Not with an
No,
ordinance.
not with an ordinance, we have not.
Okay, then
No.
explain to me, did you or did you not produce the solar ordinance?
No, Ann Peterson was on the board then, Dennis Dombrowski was on the board then. We got the ordinance given to us afterwards, but we were not on the public hearing for that ordinance. The first public hearing for an ordinance was this, for everybody except for Lee.
Okay, I'm gonna interject here. I'm liking this. I'm seeing adults talking it out, not backstabbing, not biting each other's jugulars.
Well, like I said, we have open office hours, we have emails, we have phones.
But I'm saying at least we're sitting down now and speaking as adults. Let's get it hashed out, get it over with. We can move on.
I agree.
And why rush? I mean, I don't know what the big push is for this ordinance push all of a sudden.
We've been working on it for months.
Well, maybe work on it some more.
And the ordinance that we were given was not the same ordinance the public was given.
I gave the
And-
public the last thing that was sent to my email.
The last email I got, I printed, I brought it, and everything we had, it was already scratched out. So when they're saying about the septic and this and that, we're like, it's already scratched out on this ordinance. We didn't know what they were talking about because they didn't even have the same ordinance we had.
Because again, I provided the
So-
public with what was provided to my office.
And then what did you provide us with? Because ours was the attorney ordinance,
Exactly, that's what was produced.
and theirs was completely different than ours.
Then I'm not sure where the disconnect is, because that was what was sent out to everybody.
Well, they all had completely different ordinances than we did.
And I will say this, the emails that I've sent to the planning commission, there has not been a single answer email back when I've sent information out stating whether it was gotten or if it was the correct version. So that's all I'm gonna say, is there was not a single email back saying, hey, I have questions.
I responded once and I got a snippy reply, so I won't reply again. And I have a copy of the email with me that, so,
Here's what we can do.
but I just think that if somebody knew that we
can
could ask
either
the
butt
attorney
heads-
questions.
We can either butt heads and continue to fight back and forth and have bad feelings and demand apologies. Say we're gonna, walk away, or else we can find a way to get along. That's the two choices.
I just think if there was something that,
We can either be strong-headed and demand our way, or else we can come to a common understanding, apologize, try to build the relationships.
I'm not demanding anything. I just think that if Andy knew that we needed to ask that if we should have been asking the attorney questions, instead of saying, this is from the attorney, a simple email that said, this is what the attorney sent. If you have any questions, let me know. We had no idea that we could question the attorney when something comes from an attorney. We just thought that that's the way it had to be because it came from the attorney. That's what she said. But it could have been said, if you have any questions, let me know. And then we could have spoke about questions that we had for the attorney. I think there was very little communication to us, and I think that was wrong. If somebody knew that we needed more information or that whatever the situation could be, I think it could have been relayed to us. That's my problem. The rest of it, I don't care. I honestly don't. But if we can't get the proper, you may not have to dictate our jobs and tell us what to do because you appointed us, but if we can't get some support, then why are we here? Because we should be able to get some support if we're not doing something. We need all the information. And if we can't get all the information, we can't do our job properly. If you can't get all the information, you can't do your job properly. It's the same thing. And that's what I'm asking for, is why we weren't giving the proper information.
When I first got on planning commission, they said any questions we had for the lawyer, we had to turn it into the board and they would contact them. We were not allowed to go to the lawyer ourselves. Therefore,
And the same was when I was on the planning commission.
we never knew. I was told at first on that planning commission had to turn any questions to the lawyer or to the board and they would be the go-between.
And we do that so that we have control over how much the lawyer costs, so that we don't have 5 people, 10 people going to the lawyer.
I get that, but it could have been in an email to all of us. Okay, Lee knew it, the rest of us didn't know it. And
Okay,
so
we have miscommunication. And we have some hurt feelings.
I don't know who's hurt, 'cause
Where are we gonna go with it?
So are they supposed to contact the lawyer or not?
No, they can't contact the lawyer, they have to
I thought I
contact,
heard
they
earlier that they
contact
were,
us, and we
that,
contact through the lawyer.
that they were told, well, you can contact, you're supposed to contact the lawyer, okay?
What she said is you can send an email to her and she will forward it to the lawyer. That's the system that we have in place.
And the ordinance that was sent to the planning commission had comments from the attorney on the side that I printed off for everybody and said, you guys need to review what the attorney, the questions, because that was what she sent back after it was sent there for review.
We eliminated most of the stuff the attorney put in there. I was under the impression that the red lettering on the ordinance was from the attorney.
I didn't know we could, yeah.
Is that true? I don't know.
I have no idea because I didn't look at that again. It was sent to you guys with what the attorney had put questions on there on the sidebar.
Yep.
Were any questions asked by the planning commission to your board prior to that meeting?
No.
About the lawyer's
No,
copy?
nope.
So your questions,
I assumed that they didn't have any because they never emailed and said they needed any additional information from her.
I think that was because the board had a different copy than us up here in the public when we were going over it.
Well, again, like I said, I was only.
That's where the confusion is coming from.
I emailed out the PC, the copy that I had, and that was the only copy that I have. If there was something else that had something other writing in it, I don't know where it came from, because again, the only one that I have is what I was provided by the PC.
Is there any form of written process for the planning commission? I realize there's
In the ordinance books, there literally is.
there is process.
Yeah.
it's full of contradictory things though.
No, I believe that.
What's that?
I believe that.
No, it is.
No, I
My wife has gone through it pretty extensively and it's got a lot of things that don't really match from page to page.
On what's that?
On that ordinance.
In the ordinance.
Have you read the new one? Have you read the new one?
about that.
Oh.
He's not
The,
talking.
the big ordinance book.
Oh.
I was going to change, add new business and I didn't.
Okay.
I can read it real
I
quick.
don't think all the questions are
just,
completely valid.
We need to stop the public comments for a moment, okay? We have some more business that we had forgotten that we had to do. It involves the US government, so.
We received a letter after our audit that we had to file a corrective action plan. So, with some of the findings, I'm gonna read through the list really quick. Auditor's findings, the township 2022 and 2023 statement of operations reflects over expenditures from budget appropriations. The auditor's recommendation is that the township should only expend funds as appropriated in Public Act 2 of 1968. The supervisor's corrective action plan will be that we recognize the significance of the issues and we have made significant changes to quarterly budget reviews to correct the issues. The budget is amended quarterly as needed to account for changes appropriately. It says auditor's recommendation, but that's, yeah, we need to change that. I have a typo there. That the client posts all adjusting and closing entries to the journal at the end of the current fund. The finding was that the closing and adjustment entries were not properly posted in the township's general ledger accounting system. What it is that we, in 2022, the budget, we did not go over budget as a total, but there were certain line items that went over budget, and there was never a review done at the end to adjust for those over budget line items.
And we should make note that this was not this board.
No,
This was the previous board.
this was in 2022. So we are now making quarterly and
Those changes
closing.
were done before.
The auditor's finding was that during the audit, they noticed that the bank deposits were not being made in a timely manner by the township. They recommend that the township maintains accurate and timely deposits. So we recognize the significance of the issues, and we have implemented an internal process for a timelier exchange of funds between the clerk and the treasurer for deposits. The auditors also found that during their audit, it was noted that bank account signers were not updated in a timely manner at the bank when a new treasurer was appointed. The auditor's recommendation is that the township update account signers as soon as there is a change in officers to ensure that only legally authorized individuals have access to township funds. The supervisor's corrective action plan is that we recognize the significance of the issue and we are making a formal checklist for the transition of clerk, treasurer, and supervisor to be sure all critical tasks are taken care of upon transition of any officer. All policy actions were taken in the 2023 and 2024. We're now working to ensure these issues and weaknesses hold up by policy to future officers. So before we can send this into the state, we have to do a resolution adopting the corrective action plan, and then we send in our adoption and the corrective action plan to the state.
I will make a motion that we adopt the resolution for authorizing the adoption of the corrective action plan for the 2022-2023 annual audit.
Any discussion? Of course, they don't really take into account the difficulty we had in the transition.
They don't care.
They don't know, they don't care, but I'm just saying that we worked really hard
Yeah.
at doing that, and it did not go very well.
You have any trouble doing it, bringing up date or?
No, we're so far ahead of this
Yeah,
now. All this stuff has been taken care of.
Yeah, all of this was before I even became on the board even.
Yeah.
So, it was just some old issues that were addressed in the audit. So all of the items have already since been addressed.
All this was taken care of long before we received the notification.
Yeah.
But we still have to do the resolution. Any more questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Any voice for resolution?
Oh, yeah, we gotta do voice, Okay, so, Andy,
Yes.
Miranda,
Yes.
Tim,
Yes.
Lee,
Yes.
that's for me too.
sign that, and I'll sign that too. All of the papers, you just want that? I just need that one. Okay. Thank you. Perfect.
If we have any more public comment, I'll let you do that again before we leave. Go ahead, Sherry.
Who do I complain to about something our assessor did?
Something what?
Our assessor did, or didn't do.
Oh, it'd be the board of review, wouldn't it?
Probably be awesome.
Depends on what it is.
I submitted a thing to get my property taxes waived because of Mike's disability with the service 2 months ago.
They didn't get,
She sent me a paper through the mail that the form that I sent her, they're not accepting that one anymore. So went through all the hoops of VA, blah, 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 blah. Remailed it to her. Didn't hear anything.
okay.
Didn't hear anything. So I called. Didn't hear anything. Waited a week, called her again. No reply. Sicked up Miranda on her. She finally calls me. She says, well, I need the form that says 100% not totally and permanently disabled. She could have told me that
Yeah.
90 days ago.
Okay.
So now I'm back to square one because
Start
she
over
didn't do
again?
her job.
Okay.
It's not that I can't pay my taxes, it's
Yeah.
that I shouldn't have to.
Shouldn't have to. Okay. But you're moving ahead now.
Well, yeah, I gotta wait for a day off, sit on the phone all day with the VA again.
Okay. I'm sorry for your,
It's not.
I'm sorry about that. We'll have to,
Can I
have to
just
talk to
white
her.
out? Just put 100% there.
Okay. I would like to have some private conversations with the people that feel offended. Because I really, really think that we have a great community here that has a lot of potential. And I think, I would hate to see that go away.
It's gone.
And there's grace extended when you've been offended. I would accept a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.